Welcome to our Civic Engagement Project film. We are a group of civically engaged students who delved into a semester of practicing proactive civic duties. Throughout the semester, we worked with the Florida Native Plant Society to tackle varying environmental issues that are rising in Southwest Florida. As environmental protectors, we have passion for preserving the planet, and our group chose to work with an organization whose mission was bigger than themselves. Together, we work to address the matters that are plaguing the planet, essentially the ecosystems on land. We collaborated with an organization whose mission strives to provide citizens with those attainable resources to help this earth. Our group's mission was to serve the community by serving the planet. The Cocoloba chapter of the Florida Native Plant Society is an organization that we were honored to have a chance to collaborate with. We worked with Marlene Rodak throughout our semester, and she was a key figure in our journey. Here are a few words from her.
Native Plant Society's mission is to preserve, conserve, and restore native plants and native plant communities of Florida. The chapter is mostly Lee County, Hendry, and Glades, and we work to fulfill that mission in those counties. A lot of it is the education and the outreach to teach people what it means to plant native plants versus non-native plants, and creating those functional ecosystems. And even in a little postage stamp yard, our regular residential homes, we just have these small yards, but if we plant native plants and we talk to our neighbors and our neighbors plant native plants, we've got a big corridor.
Our project focused on the service aspect of civic engagement. There are many different ways of serving, including volunteering your time to work hands-on or even something as simple as advocating. Our project did both of these things. We would volunteer our time and spend a couple of hours during each trip at the Florida Native Plant Society helping to get rid of invasives and bring the native life back to the area. During our collective time here, we also chose to bring awareness to the organization through filming our experience to help advertise to possible volunteers. Through collaborative teamwork, the use of technology, and civic dialogue, we not only worked hands-on in ridding an environment of invasive species that prove harmful to native life, but we also were able to advocate for the organization we worked with and ideally be able to promote their mission and get more people involved and educated on the issue. The goals of our project also fall in line with the sustainability component of the Foundations of Civic Engagement course, with our group having had gathered inspiration from Sustainable Development Goal 15 to protect, restore, and promote sustainable use of terrestrial ecosystems, sustainably manage forests, combat desertification, and halt and reverse land degradation and halt biodiversity loss.
During my time volunteering at the Native Plant Society, I learned about many plant species native to Florida and specifically our region. Through our garden pruning, repotting of seedlings, labeling of plants, making signs, and remulching of gardens, we learned about the need and usages of the plants at the Native Plant Society.
The talks that I had with Marlene, our community partner, and other FPCU volunteers reminded me of the beauty and importance of Southwest Florida's surrounding ecosystem.
While working with Marlene at the Native Plant Society, our main goals we set out to accomplish was to identify and properly remove invasive exotic plants. This would allow for further growth of native plant species and their beneficiaries. We also potted seedlings of native plants to allow for an increase in their population numbers. We were able to successfully clear most of the land at the Native Plant Society that was being overcrowded by invasive species.
Throughout volunteering, we were guided hands-on on how to properly care, nurture, and build sustainable garden beds. Some of the projects we executed were done by driving a golf cart with a wagon attached to the back as we moved cinder blocks to the Dick Workman Memorial Garden to form an outdoor sand pit to care for high and dry plants and the shade-loving ones as well. A roadblock that occurred was when the attachment to connect the wagon broke and we worked together to pull the cinder blocks and set up a relay system. When entering the demonstration garden, gloves were needed while we began to pull weeds. Throughout the day, butterflies, grasshoppers, spiders, bees, and many other creatures of the ecosystem were everywhere as we carefully tried to not disturb their habitat. We saw how easily native plants will attract wildlife to the surrounding area if cared for properly. While moving to the retail sales center, Marlene provided us with information about their online shop that they provided to the residents of Bonita Spring. In the morning, she would prepare the orders so they were properly ready on time for her customers. As a team, we collected the plants needed, labeled them with repurposed items she had, and wrote labels and prices. As some items were not available that morning, she would go to nearby locations to collect the plants needed, even at times when there was no profit to be made. This showed us by making native plants more readily available, we can close the gap of people just learning of the benefits of native plants and actually planting them in their yard.
After our service with the Society, we plan to continue to educate and advocate others about the many benefits native plants provide to the environment and strategies to identify and remove invasive exotic plants.